All right, here we go. This is a video about analog versus digital. I've been asked a bunch of questions recently through my channel and through the live stream that I'll be doing later on. What's my thoughts on analog versus digital? And here's the thing for me is that I think anything can be done. I think great sounding tracks or production can be had with all analog. I think they can be had with analog and digital. And I think they could be had with all digital. It really comes down to your sensibility about what you're trying to accomplish, what your intuition is regarding mixing and tone choices and EQ and compression. There's probably 10 ways in each direction that you can accomplish the same goal. For me, I'm comfortable in all three of those areas. Analog, certainly no problem. That was how I came in through the business. Hybrid, when analog met digital, I worked in that capacity for a long time using consoles and outboard gear along with digital workstations and sometimes submixing in digital workstations, using the console as a summing console or summing mixer, as some would call it, doing parallel compression on the console, doing parallel compression in the DAW when things were for me, when they were in the hybrid stage. Now I tend to be mostly all in the digital world, but I know what sound I'm looking for. If I couldn't accomplish that sound with the all digital world, I would certainly look to bring in analog gear. Would I be open to using analog gear? Yes. I have no problem with it. You will get to a certain point, I would hope, that the gear, and this isn't a gear doesn't matter kind of thing, but the gear is just a tool for you to use to get to what's in your mind's eye. What's in your mind's eye, what's in your ear, what is the picture you're trying to paint. You should be able to do it with almost anything handed to you. All gear today is pretty amazing for any price point. You could make great records with a $200 DAW like Logic, all in one. Never leave it. Never leave the domain until you printed it and uploaded it to whatever DSP you're using. There's phenomenal analog gear out there. If you have the deep pockets, you could go for the vintage stuff. If you don't have the deep pockets, you could go for some of the new reinterpretations of analog gear, vintage analog gear. So what I'm trying to say, there's a bunch of ways to go about doing it. Whatever way that you can find that would work for you is what works. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. Someone also brought up recently, do you believe in listening to references when you're mixing and or doing production? My response to that is, of course, you listen to things to reference them and contemplate, okay, do I like the sound of that? What do I think they're doing there? What's happening? But I think more importantly, when you're listening and you're referencing music or you're just going about your day listening, that is going to affect your intuitive taste on how you finish your productions, how you mix. So one thing that cannot be taught or learned is taste. how you hear things. How I hear something is completely different than how the next guy hears something. That is personal. If you are skilled enough, you can tailor things to someone else's taste. If you're working with someone and they say, like, I just want it to be a little crisper or have a little more bump on the bottom end, if you're skilled enough, you can accommodate them. If you are not, you will be probably losing that working relationship or client sometime soon to someone that will accommodate them and who knows how to accommodate them. So the reference thing is one of those weird areas. And I've mentioned this before, that if you are, let's just say, mixing it, you're being hired to mix hip hop, you shouldn't be someone that only listens to classical music all day or death metal, and then expect you to be able to expect yourself to be able to accommodate that mix. You can't fake the funk, as they say. You can't fake, oh, I'm just going to mix hip hop today, or I'm going to just mix bedroom pop today, even though I despise it and I never listen to it. And all I do is rock out all day to my Joe Rogan podcast or something. You can't live that life and expect to just flick a switch and sort of role play as a genre mixer or producer. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you guys on the live stream, hopefully. Like and subscribe and all that.